Hi, grade 8s. Ms. McMillan here. Um, Doing this little video on a Tuesday afternoon. I'll either post it after I finish my second class or it'll be first thing Wednesday morning. I just wanted to give you something else that you can start thinking about for your first remote week off. Your first remote week. It's certainly not off. Not off for me, not off for you. We're all on. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the creative right. It's going to be about 750 words. I will have a handout for you Monday when we're together for the first time officially on September 21st. I will have a handout, but I just wanted to give you the heads up for those of you who are eager, like super eager right now. And it is only a 10-week course, so it's good to start thinking about these things. 750 words, double-spaced. It can be a graphic novel. In that case, there would be fewer words expected because part of the way you're going to tell the story is through pictures. They don't have to be hand-drawn. A number of my students last year used they had tablets, to do the digital imagery. Go for it. That would be wonderful. It can be collage. You can cut out pictures from magazines and then write part of the story. I'll show you some examples when you're here in class, but all I want you to know is you don't have to think of it as just black letters on a white page. There's a number of different story forms it could take. It could be a journal. You could be a scientist. Somebody's hiking in the mountains and finds a scientist journal from back in the day when it was Pangea. And the scientist journal will explain things about what life was like at the time. Also, if you don't actually even have to use the Pangea idea or the Pangea prompt, I just find it's a good one. A lot of great stories come out of it. But if you already have another idea for a story, you go for it. You don't need to use the Pangea prompt at all. That being said, I'm also going to give you a little link to a video on YouTube that tells you a little bit more about what Pangea might have looked like geographically. Zoologically, what kind of animals and people wouldn't have existed, actually. They're predicting that if Pangea had stayed Pangea, human beings would never have evolved. Interesting to think about. Maybe your story doesn't have humans, right? It's a creative right. You can take your story anywhere you want. But dinosaurs would still be amongst us, right? If Pangea had still stayed, or Pangea had remained, because that would mean that the ice age and the tectonic plates breaking up to create the continents are related. So if there wasn't those tectonic plate huge shifts and earthquakes over 300 million years, human beings wouldn't have evolved in just the same way. Some animals would never have created. Human beings wouldn't have been involved. It wouldn't have evolved at all. I think I'm repeating myself now. Sorry about that. So I'll show you a bunch of different ways that I've got lots of examples up on the board. I'm looking at the board right now, my bulletin board behind me. There's lots of examples of past wonderful Pangeas to get you going. But yeah, you just might want to think about what kind of story you'd like to tell. Is it about war? Is it, like I said, a scientific journal? Is it perhaps a newspaper? You could do a newspaper of Pangea. Newspapers tell a bunch of little stories, right? But they are story driven, so that would fit in with writing a story as well. It could be a student journal. Maybe there's a student trip that's going off to visit the colder, more northern climate of Pangea with her class. And maybe she's keeping a journal of everything they see and do on the way. That's another good idea. The one thing I do want to impress upon you, I'm going to take you over to the whiteboard for a second just to graphic out something to bear in mind, is that it is only 750 words long. And that is really, really not very many words, not much. It's about 3 pages, a little bit less than 3 pages, double space, typed, depending on your font size. It's hard to tell a complete story in 750 words, so please don't stress out about it. You don't have to tell the entire story. You can have a big story in your mind and then just pull a chunk out and just write that. Write the most exciting parts. Write the final conclusion and do a little flashback so that we know what happened. You don't have to, and there's a bunch of different ways to do flashback. The characters can be dreaming. The characters can be remembering. There can be a conversation between characters that are sort of discussing the events, recent events that have transpired. There's a bunch of different ways to do flashback and to fill in story other than just literally writing it out paragraph by paragraph. Yeah, so I just want to take you over to the whiteboard right now. Actually, no, I have to stop because I can't switch the camera view mid-video. I have to stop and finish this little video and do another little part for you in a second. Okay, see you soon.